I will read an excerpt from a report that says Jeff Hardy was arrested shortly after midnight last night in Volusia County, Florida. The jail records show that Hardy was booked in at 12:45 a.m. on charges of driving while license cancelled / suspended / revoked, violation of restrictions placed on driver's license, and DUI, alcohol, drug, third offense within 10 years. Now, for my understanding, that means obviously he was banned from driving anyway because of DUI offenses, and he was caught doing it again, I think. Hardy received a surety cash bond of $3,500, $500 for the license charges, and $2,500 for the DUI. He is currently still incarcerated at the Justice Center in Daytona Beach, Florida. He's going to appear in court on the 14th of June, which of course is tomorrow, I believe 1:30 p.m. American time. We've been here too often, fellas, haven't we? That's the problem. As mentioned in the report, it's the third time in 10 years, and he's had arrests too many, basically, at this point, regardless. I'm a big Jeff Hardy advocate, always have been. I want the best for Jeff Hardy. We all do, I'm sure. But it gets a point where someone's going to get really hurt by his reckless behavior. What happens if someone dies because of his, driving under the influence or whatever? There's only so far we can, let our adulation kind of move away from the glaring fact that this could be a really terrible situation. I want the best for Jeff. I hope he's getting help. But it's hard to know what is the best scenario for him anymore, because a lot of people felt like getting out of the WWE grind and travel schedule would be good for him. But here he is in AEW, and it's the same problem. Those demons are a real thing. I, sympathize with anybody that has to battle such things. But Sat, let's start with you, man. It's a sad state of affairs to see here once again.
I got a question. Is it proven that he was under the influence? Was it mentioned he's under the influence, or is it just a case of just driving without a license? Do we know?
It's been read in the report. He's with the two bonds, one of them for the license charges and one of them for a DUI, which suggests that he's been arrested for both.
Okay, so
that's just me reading the report.
Yeah, of course.
I don't.
To answer your question, I was kind of worried this was going to happen, because in the beginning, I, like a lot of people, wanted Jeff Hardy to be featured prominently as a wrestler. So he goes to AEW because his last run in the WWE, he didn't really do much, especially in the last year. So he goes to AEW, and straight away he's doing all these acrobatic moves again, jumping off ladders and so forth. And we saw his performance in the tag match against Young Bucks. So obviously he's not feeling too good. Alcohol, drugs, they tend to numb out the pain. So I'm worried that the schedule that he's putting himself in and the pressure he's putting himself in is putting him back into that dark place. So yeah, not looking good.
Yeah, SB3, what do you think at this stage? Because far be it from us to be, guidance counselors or tell anybody how to live or whatever, but at the same point, it seems like everyone's tried to help Jeff Hardy. Everyone wants to help him. And yet we keep arriving at the same space. It's hard to know what the answer is.
It's sad because sometimes people don't want to make that decision to get themselves help. And that's what I think Jeff Hardy really needs at this point. If we keep hitting the same wall over and over again, then there's an issue here. Like, for God's sakes, you're Jeff Hardy. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's Matt, there's Rebby, there's everyone. You can get a ride from someone on the road that would drive you. Like, if you have a license that's suspended, revoked, or canceled, there's no reason for you to drive, period. And this is taken away from all the numerous other times that he's been in this type of situation. These are 3 different charges. It really just is kind of like frustrating at this point. And Jeff Hardy really just needs to deal with these demons, get the help that he truly needs, or in general, get off the road. Just get off the road, because we're going through this whole situation with Sonny, and Sonny took someone's life. And I think
Yeah.
that we look at it in a different way from the Jeff Hardy situation because he hasn't done it yet. But if he keeps going down this same road, unfortunately, I think that's gonna have to be the big thing that makes him
Or
get
is
help. I hope we
or,
don't have to go that far.
or it's his own life,
Yeah,
right? Like either
Yeah.
or, like tragedy would befall us. It's just, I mean, again, I'm not gonna like preach or kind of bestow anything on Jeff. How could I understand? How
yeah.
could I? How could any of us really when dealing with a demon like that? But at the same point, like I said, there seems to be enough people around him. So, like, all I would say, if in any kind of relevance, is like, if there's something that's doing that to you, you have to kind of take yourself out of the game. Like, for instance, much smaller scale, but like, I started really they call it like anxiety. The night after drinking it would be low for me, so I stopped drinking as much, right? I mean, it makes it sound so simple, but obviously I didn't have an addiction. I just thought I don't like that, so I'm not going to do that so much anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
sure all of us can think of small scenarios like that, right, where you kind of go, I don't like that, so I'm not going to do it. In this instance, is it the fact that he's on the road? Is that the problem, or is it like he needs a high that matches the high in the ring, or I have no idea, and I don't want to backtrack either because I've seen some heinous, ridiculous things, as you always do on Twitter,
Of course.
where people are like, oh, WWE tried to help it, but you got to remember, like, people battling problems, it might not have been a problem then. This can manifest anytime, right? He could be doing good. He said he passed the test, right, when he left WWE, so he was clean at that point. But you never know when this is going to affect someone like Jeff Hardy. So what are we meant to do? Like, not let him wrestle, and like, I don't know. Rehab seems to be something that he doesn't want to do.
No.
So what are the options here? I don't know American law very well. Sid can probably tell me something about this. He's probably looking at time, no, for repeat offences here. Third DUI in 10 years. I don't know what that comes with, but
I mean, I think that they might when he goes to court because he has a bond right now. That from the report it says that he's still in jail, so they first have to post bail for him, and then he's gonna have a court date, and then from that court date, yeah, there's an option that he might have to do time, or if you're not gonna do time, then yeah, you're gonna have to do a bid in rehab. So, I like you, Alex. I don't want to sound all preachy. I can never understand, the problems that Jeff Hardy has go through, but I've known people in my own family that have dealt with that demon, and it's something that can down the road can affect you in totally different ways. And for what he's doing in the ring, the matches with like Darby Allin and jumping off a damn building in the second match, it's you can understand if that's what you need to kind of get to the next show or get to the next match. But when it's putting your life at risk and putting other people's life at risk, I'm just praying that he gets the help that he truly needs, whether it's not rehab, if he's very adamant that he doesn't want to do rehab, just 100% at this point. I'm really at the point where I'm just going to say, Jeff, get off the road. Like, I had the privilege to interview this man, and that was like one of my biggest achievements in like
Me
this
too.
whole wrestling media gig. But like, even if I interviewed him tomorrow, I would just be like, please, like, I more than I want to see you in a match, more than I want to see you in another ladder match on this Wednesday, I want you to get off the road, because if you don't want to go to rehab, don't get on the road. It's either one or the other, rehab or get off the road. That's what I want right now.